you have probably experienced in your school or somewhere else and see that one person whose mind is always in sports and games, or that one friend who's obsessed with this one musical artist, or maybe that one classmate who's obsessed and only thinks about their favorite actor or actress. Perhaps you are also similar to them. But being too absorbed into your peculiar interest, expressing it has often led you to being mocked by your peers or reprimanded by your mentor for wasting time or not doing well in your commitments because of it. And maybe your family is also concerned about your immature antics because they think it's turning you into someone abnormal and also ruining your future. And all of these actions hurt you deeply because to you, you feel your interests are your source of joy and comfort that the people around you just don't seem to understand. And you find yourself resenting and disagreeing with them because instead, you don't think it's turning you away from your responsibilities, but something that keeps you going on. Then, what is the real picture here? Let's figure it out. Greetings, everyone. My name is Rojamin Rahman. I'm from Dhaka City College. I'm here to present to you my research titled Attachment to Parasocial Targets and its Impact on Work Performance, a quantitative analysis on Bangladeshi youth aged 13 to 25 years. From Youth Research Journal Spring Research Program 2026 with the help of my mentors Muhammad Sanaul Haq Shantu and Muhammad Azman Yakin Srisan. Before we dive into our main topic, it is important that we understand what we mean by parasocial relationships and parasocial targets. By parasocial relationship, we understand a one-sided relationship between a celebrated figure and the viewer. It is the affection the viewers have for a person who does not know the viewer personally. And by parasocial target, we mean the person whom the viewer forms a parasocial relationship with. So, who can be considered a parasocial target? They can be any celebrities or artists, such as actors or actresses, musicians, idols. They can be any online presence like influencers, streamers, VTubers, or YouTubers. They can also be fictional characters from books, comics, animes, or video games, or an athlete. In short, it can be anyone whom you have developed a one-sided affinity for or parasocial relationship with. So, what did we try to uncover from this research? This research aimed to find the answers to the following questions. Number one, does the young generation's attachment level to parasocial targets affect their everyday task performance? And number two, is this attachment obstructive or a necessary boost for navigating through their daily duties of life? Our hypothesis for this research are the null hypothesis is that an individual's attachment level to parasocial targets does not have any relation to their work performance. And the alternate hypothesis is that an individual's attachment to parasocial targets does have a significant relation to work performance. Now, let's look into some of the previous researches that are related to our issue. First of all, previous studies showed that after the COVID-19 pandemic, parasocial relationships, along with its closeness, have increased through increased social media exposure. Secondly, there has been extensive research on how celebrity worship motives play a crucial role in boosting customer brand relationship, therefore suggests intentional marketing and content promoting PSR is beneficial to corporations. Some studies have found that fan consumption behavior is closely linked to emotional attachment, which works as an indication of why over extravagance can be spotted in highly committed fans. Then we have researched the positive and negative effects of parasocial relationships on our overall mood and psychological well being. Achieving emotional stability through our attachment to parasocial targets could possibly upgrade work performance and quality. Relatability to parasocial targets encourages consumers to become better to achieve their goals, should imply that such inspirations could contribute towards productivity. Moreover, a good mood leads to higher productivity. Let's discuss the positive and negative roles of parasocial relationships. Starting with positive points, studies have shown how media inspired decorations help to create meaningful spaces that helps in building identity, confidence, and also provides for emotional fulfillment. Participating in fandoms, together with higher fanship levels, are said to improve psychological conditions by aiding in managing stress and promoting problem focused coping mechanisms. Committed people in parasocial relationships show a higher frequency of self reflection, which is necessary for personal development. Not to mention, it generally lifts up our mood and present mental condition. Onto the negative points. Parasocial relationships can promote destructive criticism of oneself along with negative perceptions. More attached consumers become more susceptible to false information as well as unrealistic standards, which are dangerous to people's well being and could even lead to serious accidents. Parasocial relationships are also one of the most common mediums for escapism and procrastination. Negative effects of parasocial relationships might also affect the mental constitution of a person. A study has shown that celebrity worship could decrease cognitive abilities. After reviewing existing research, it can be noticed that there has not been any significant study on parasocial relationships' effect on work performance and how different attachment levels may influence it. There is also a lack of exploration on this topic under Bangladeshi's context. Therefore, our research specifically investigated this on Bangladeshi youngsters aged 13 to 25 years. So, you might be wondering, how exactly does our parasocial relationship affect our daily work performance? Well, here's how it can. It can uplift our mood and psychological state for working. It can encourage and give motivation for working. It can make us want to put more efforts into our work when we see our parasocial targets doing the same. It can be used as a reward system after work, which can be utilized as a motivation trigger. It is a general medium that enables us to escape from reality and makes us procrastinate overdue work. It can distract us from our duties. Now, let's discuss how this research was conducted. This research was conducted by approaching a quantitative method analysis. A well-planned online survey was designed taking question suggestions from pre-existing models and utilized a 5-point Likert scale. Data was collected anonymously to ensure the privacy and honesty of answers from participants. Parental consent was required for participants under 18 years. Convenient sampling method was chosen for this research. This was achieved by spreading the survey in multiple social networking platforms such as Instagram, WhatsApp, Discord, and many more. The participants were made to go through two sets of questions. One section measured their affection level for parasocial targets, and the other assessed how their affinity affected their work performance. Participants' points were summed up and their scores between the two variables were later used for data analysis. Later, the data was analyzed with Microsoft Excel and IBM SPSS. The data for this research was analyzed by descriptive statistics, correlational statistics, and regression statistics. Starting with descriptive statistics, among the responses from the participants, 50% of them were females, 45% from males, and 5% did not prefer to answer. 5% of them were aged 13 to 17 years old, and the rest of the 95% were 18 to 25 years old. Here is the overview of the data. Firstly, we are seeing the histogram of attachment level points of the participants. Here, their answer points ranged from 4 to 0 for each question. The mean of their scores is 32.7. The standard deviation of their responses is 9.8467. The confidence interval of their attachment points lie between 37.015 and 28.385. Next is the histogram of the participants' work performance points. Here, for each question, their points ranged from -2 to +2 depending on the question type. The average of their scores is 0.0.5. The standard deviation of the responses is 5.4239, and the confidence interval for both of their work performance points is between -2.327 to 2.427. This is the scatter plot matrix for both of the variables to show you the data pairs. Now we're seeing the correlational statistics of the data. Pearson's correlational coefficient method was used here. Here are the findings from our two variables with a sample size of 20 at the 0.05 significance level. Pearson's correlational coefficient of 0.5364 was found, which indicates that there is a significant relationship between the variables. Coefficient of determination was found to be 0.2877, which means that there is a 28.77% variance between the variables. T-statistics of 2.6965 suggests the present statistical difference between the variables. Degree of freedom was found to be 18 and the p-value of 0.015 was found, which suggests a moderate positive relationship with the variables. As it can be seen, a linear regression can be found with the data, meaning there is a relationship between attachment levels and work performance. It can also be observed from the figure that both very high and very low attachment levels corresponded with negative work performance effects. However, higher than moderate attachment levels showed positive work performance effects in the participants. Coming to the discussion of our research, as the R value of 0.5364 and P value of 0.015 was found, there is a significant relationship between attachment to parasocial targets and work performance. Therefore, our null hypothesis can be rejected and the alternate hypothesis can be accepted. To answer our research question 1, the young generation's attachment levels to parasocial target indeed affects their everyday work performance. And to answer our research question 2, this attachment has shown to tilt towards a constructive boost than obstructive in navigating their daily tasks. This research contradicts previous studies that argue obsessive attachment to parasocial targets are detrimental to an individual's productivity, but it supports some researchers that thinks strategic use of parasocial relationships is beneficial in managing our work life. Although we have accounted for parasocial relationships' mood and mental state boosting effects, there is one study which claims that parasocial relationships' mood enhancement abilities are not significant. Let us discuss the limitations of this research. First of all, the sample size is too low for properly understanding the situation for the proposed population. Secondly, this research used convenience sampling, which limits the generalization of the population's response. Thirdly, this research was only done using a quantitative method analysis. Therefore, it lacks the insights from personal experiences that are obtained through qualitative analysis. Lastly, the positive cases do not overshadow the existing negative cases. To conclude the research, from the preliminary evidence, we can state that attachment to parasocial targets and its impact on work performance exists and has a significant relation to each other. While negative cases are also present, this research shows that individuals with higher than average attachment scores displayed enhanced effects in their work performance. The results from this research can be implicated in the following ways. It can contribute to the ongoing research on parasocial relationships. It can help us to better understand the psychology of the youth. It will help us spread awareness among people. It will help us to be understanding and compassionate about the affected youth. It can trigger changes in academic and professional environments by adopting means for individual work performances. Also, it will help the affected individuals to understand their situation and overcome it or steer it for a better outcome. Overall, the research will be open for further exploration and investigation to meet the community's needs afterwards. Before ending my presentation, I would like to extend my gratitude to my incredible mentors for their guidance. I also want to thank my mother and my friends for their support. Thank you for your precious attention until the end.